welcome back to our Roundtable podcast, our Freaks and Geeks. We have reached our part of our first goal, our first milestone we were reaching. We've got halfway through to our 1,000 subscriber goal. Round of applause for us. We out here. We doing good work. Big five, double O. So
plus a couple more.
Plus a couple on top of that. So I am appreciative of everybody who's now recently joined, talking to you and possibly you over there that have joined our journey. And I always like to support everybody who's been with us since day one. Our day ones in the chat, put the ones down there. Let us know you're down there. Rap Nerd, appreciate you. Fandom Limb, I think Always Press Record. All you guys have been there.
Yep.
All you guys have been there sharing us on this journey, this, that, the other, all of our friends, our families, anybody else in between. I appreciate you. Thank you. And to another 500 to our 1K sub goal. We're over halfway there.
And what?
Yeah,
4 years?
In 4 years. Yeah, we did 4 years, man. We've been hustling, bustling, and getting them out there, getting that quality content out there for you guys. We appreciate you guys. Do you have any other things to say, Marcus, before we move into our podcast tonight? What you guys have seen is the Batman debate. Oh, he's already proclaiming some things. Okay, all right. This is not representative of my decision. It's the only Batman shirt I had. All right. all right. Today we will be deciding who amongst all the live-action Batman embody what Batman is, like the Spider-Man podcast, which you should check out after this one, of course. It's a great podcast. We are looking at movie Batman. So animated Batmans and ones that are like in TV shows, they won't be included in this one. They might be in a future podcast. Just a little plug just for future content. Future D, we ready. Yeah, so if our decision, who we decide in the end of this video isn't the person you decide, that's fine. That's okay. It's our opinion. And you can tell us whoever you think is in the comment section below. We are down to see that. Without further ado, let's get into our best live action Batman conversation / debate. Do you want to give people that are already out of the running, or do you want to just go in guns blazing with your pick?
People out of the running. So, my question is, are we starting? Are we including Adam West, the 1940s Batman too?
Yeah, we'll include them, just for the sake of being respectful. They can be
so
included.
we'll mention them, but we mainly focusing though on the like big box office movies, right?
Yeah, we're focusing on like the people that are movies. Like I think the 1941 technically was a movie, so it still is in conversation. It can be, but I don't think it's how do I say it? I don't think it's fair to judge them based on the newer Batman.
It was so early. Yeah, and
exactly. That was before the character was molded.
Yeah, so we going 89 to 2022 is when the Batman
2020. I want to say 2022. I want to say it was 2 years.
2022. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I just have to say that before we get into it to thank the greats that started it, especially Adam West, because what was special. I'll just take a moment to pay tribute to his Batman, because what was special about his Batman is, even though it wasn't the first one I seen, I used to watch it with my granddad, and I never knew that he had a show, and then eventually they end up making a movie. But a lot of things that happened in that show foreseeing the future of Batman with certain characters, certain arcs, certain little ideas, like the secret entrance to the Batcave, Alfred establishing his like part in the mix, Batmobile, like actually a vehicle designed in like the bat, looking like a bat kind of thing. Even down to the villains, they changed how Mr. Freeze looked. Like as far as like the comics was considered, Mr. Freeze, we really got like the first kind of idea of what the Joker is with Cesar Romero, who we have to give a lot of praise to from that show, because he was probably like one of the best things other than Batman and Robin from that show. The Penguin, Catwoman. By the way, that was the first time we had an African American play Catwoman, was in that show with Eartha Kitt.
Yeah.
So she paved the way for Zoe, even though we don't talk about the other movie, but Halle Berry because she did play Catwoman, but she paved the way for those sisters. So there's a lot of good things that came out of the show, and as campy as it was, like
Yeah.
good campy, like it was just good-hearted fun. The whole thing where he had like shark repellent on his
I was
belt, and
gonna
he
mention
fought like
that.
a shark, even down to like him dancing and stuff. But to show you how much respect it has in the community of like the Batman films, it got its own spin-off comic book series. It got
Mm-hmm.
an animated film that Adam West got to do before he passed. It holds a very important place in this discussion because without that particular product of Batman, we don't get the things that come afterwards. So
Exactly.
I always say 66 and 89 are what shaped the whole idea of what you could do with Batman.
I
It was two
agree.
different ways you could do. So because both of those got their own like spin-off comics. So that should tell you something. Yeah. So
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think we have to pay respect to the great, the Adam West show and his comic run and what he's done because he established a lot of like lore that we know as Batman now. And 89 just added a new coat on that. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of added an extra comic layer to it. Because I will say 89 is definitely like a spitting image of a comic book. It really is. Even with his the bat suit is probably the most like comic book accurate suit
that
we've
black.
got. That
Because
black
before
with the
that, yeah.
gold.
Before that, it was what the gray with the blue cow,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the gray and black. It was never like an all black suit, and then that hard like that yellow background behind the black bat signal. It was so iconic, man. That's I'm gonna wait till we get into it because I don't want to give it to him too early because you know how I am about 89.
Oh, I know.
Man returns.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off this with getting rid of the people that I'm not gonna put in this category, just because because for this podcast I did research. I rewatched every single one of the Batman films, the ones I can get my hands on. There's 11 of them, and they are 2 hours, or at least 2 hours a piece.
Thank God that I watched them so many times, like in the recent months. Like seriously, D, like when you said you was watching them, I'm like, dang, am I that much of a Batman fan that I've seen them like recently, so I don't have to watch them. The only ones I watched had to rewatch was Forever and Batman and Robin because I swore not to watch those. But I was like, I was gonna have to watch them because we have to talk about it. So go ahead.
Yeah. Speaking of those two movies, both those Batmans are disqualified. They're not gonna be the best Batman for me just because.
Yeah.
Well, one Val Kilmer. I hope I'm saying his name because I always shorten it to Val or something like that.
Look who visited us for a short.
It's the Rumble. He decided to grace us with his entirely black cat. He's you're talking Batman? I'm here.
I know he heard us say Catwoman. He's like,
say who? I think what hurt his character is coming after 89. Coming after it's slipping my mind right now, guys. I'm sick, so everything's slipping my mind. Michael Keaton. There we go. Michael Keaton. It hurt him because you can't just follow. Michael Keaton knocked that out of the park. Like both of the movies are good. Yeah, and then George Clooney, he didn't do too much greater either.
I will say this. This. To your point, because I agree with you so far. I doing research and I found out like the behind the scenes stuff. I will not hold Kilmer and Clooney 100% of the blame.
Okay.
But they could get a little bit of it.
They can get a little time of it.
Clooney, you could tell he really wanted to be Batman and he wanted to really do it justice. But I think the script, and the story and the whole thing with Schumacher and DC didn't want to, not DC, Warner Brothers didn't want to make it dark like the Burton films. I think that hurt both films. And you could tell because Schumacher was, with Kilmer, he was trying to keep that tone from 89 and Batman Returns. But you could tell they was like easing in, hey, it's going to be a little more campy. We need to have more jokes. because it definitely had that serious tone, and I think that's what hurt Val Kilmer is because he was trying to follow up Michael Keaton, and he was trying to keep that same mannerism, but it didn't fit with the overall theme of that movie.
This cat right here, man. He be thinking he's
I
Batman,
saw.
man.
Look
There's the
at him back
other.
there.
There's the other one. I got one up here, and I got one back there. So the big one hopped right up here, like he's Batman or whatever. And now he's trying to climb the wall, like he's Batman. He's trying to climb up on the wall in the background.
Dude,
Look, you got.
they finna be famous after this podcast. Especially that one back there stalking us like
Just
Batman.
chilling. Oh man. But no, I think George Clooney did a little bit better job of it. I did like his a little bit more, but I think that Val, I watched some stuff, and he tried to be more of a father figure, which was great, but the tone just didn't match it all the time. You know what I mean? It just it looked like Tim Burton's universe, but like they tried to add like some like you said, some lightheartedness into it and try to merge those tones together.
Yeah,
it just didn't work. And then the romance was just really weird in that movie.
Oh my god. The romance overall in both was very cringy.
It was.
In the dialogue and the way it was just all take me. Oh my gosh. I love the rubber. Even with Poison Ivy and her lines, and then Batgirl and Robin.
Oh
and
man,
it was a big mess. It was a big mess. But as much as you don't want to leave them out, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, we recognized it, but they are not up for discussion.
They are not up for discussion. Like they have worn the cowl, but they in this conversation they have to sit down because here's the thing. Here's the craziest part about it. I was doing research of videos on YouTube, just doing research and like getting deeper things, and no one ever puts them in the thumbnail. Like they will never put them in the thumbnail. They go from Keaton straight to Bell. It's
like they don't exist.
Exactly. It's like they don't exist or anything like that. And not to, like I say, I'm gonna move on after this point, but it's just I kind of wish that they kind of had a better shoot, like a shot at it, because I just think. And also, let's mention I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but let's mention their costumes weren't great either.
Yeah, I did. I did not.
Today of all days. Never hopped up there. Today of all days.
They never come in here and they was like, nah, it's Batman today. We finna fuck with y'all. Because y'all know Catwoman, we don't fuck with him all the time. I love it though. It's funny.
It's funny. You know? It's hilarious. But oh my word. They're chilling, but it's good. It's good. Thank you guys for the content. I appreciate it. Appreciate your contribution.
Exactly.
Man, but the bat nipples are so bad. The nipples are bad.
I did not appreciate it because the suits would have been cool if they didn't include the bat nipples. If they didn't do that weird suit up.
Here's the thing: that black silver thing they got going, I do not like it. I don't know what it is about it.
I never noticed how they did a whole costume like swap within 5 minutes because they were just all in their regular suits, and then they come out and you just see the silver and black, and it's
it's like noticeably in weird spots. It's not like uniformly. So
I will say this: it was those two films had a lot of sexual innuendos, like
100%,
like very, and it was watching it as an adult. I was like, man, this should not be seen by kids because
exactly,
there's a lot going on.
And also, you shouldn't be telling those kids with the nipple suits. You shouldn't be telling those kids like that's a little weird. Okay, but how did you feel about the villains in I'd say the Clooney and the Val
Schumacher?
Yeah,
film?
Yeah, I'll just say Schumacher.
Only like the Riddler out of all of them.
Yeah, Riddler was cool. Two-Face was all right, but I do the Two-Face in the Bell universe.
Yeah,
I like the
Two-Face,
exactly. Like he was too much, a little too
yeah,
much.
the laugh and the jokes, and I was like, no, Two-Face
Mm-hmm.
don't make jokes. Didn't even feel like a real relationship between him and Batman because we all know that Harvey and Bruce like homeboys.
Yeah,
And you didn't even get
exactly.
like that connection. But for me, it was probably only Jim Carrey as the Riddler because
Yeah,
it's Jim
it's
Carrey.
Jim Carrey, and he's
He,
perfect for that because the Riddler is exactly that character. Though he's
yeah,
over the top, he's very comical in a dark city like Gotham. Like he's
mhm,
even in the Arkham games, he's still joking
yeah,
and lighthearted in some ways.
yeah. So
So,
that's probably the only one because Poison Ivy, love Uma Thurman, but Poison
but
Ivy,
Poison Ivy was,
the way they
yeah,
wrote her was terrible.
it was
And
bad.
we won't even Mr. Freeze. Schwarzenegger was okay. I won't
Yeah,
say he was completely bad, but the other one, we don't even discuss that thing.
I don't even remember that person. That's how
Yeah,
bad I don't even remember it. Good.
no, we won't discuss that.
I think the Joker was good for Keaton film. The Joker was great. I like Jack Nicholson's performance, but when you compare, and I was going to ask this question later, but I think the better of the Jokers is definitely Heath. Heath had that in his bag, man. I don't know. For me personally, I like that, but I'm not saying what's name is bad. I'm not saying he's bad.
No, I
I'm
know
not
that.
saying I'm
I
not
know
saying he's
that.
bad, but after watching the Bells, I was like, man, I don't know, man. This
You,
Joker
you
right here is up.
you're gonna be surprised when I say what I gotta say. But go ahead.
Say what you gonna say. Go ahead, you gonna say. I'm good. I'm good. I already know you about to.
So
Oh,
Heath Ledger's Joker, great.
yeah,
We already know that. Great.
yeah, of
Love the
course.
performance.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to I want to watch a movie where the Joker feels like it's pulled right out of the comics,
Of course. Yeah, 89 for
89,
sure. 89 for
89.
sure. Yeah, 89 for sure.
And I think that Jack brought a little bit more sinistry to the Joker than Heath did. Because, of
Mm,
course, Heath's Joker was a little terrifying. And yeah,
yeah.
he knocked off a few people. But Jack Nicholson was freaking insane. This dude was just doing crazy stuff. Like the whole thing with the putting it in the products and making
Oh
people
yeah.
laugh to death. And okay, I'll give you a prime example. The guy that was supposed to be like his good like right hand man, they supposed to be buddies.
Yeah.
At the end, because Batman had a plane and he took the balloons and all that, he just shot him. He was like gun, and then he just
Oh
shot
yeah.
his boy.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. He
I was
shot him like
like,
that.
when I saw that, cause rewatching it, I was like, bro. Now that I think about it, Heath Joker was more like a mastermind
Yeah.
and more tactical, and he had
Mm,
things like he was more on like a plan. He almost was to that point where it's like a little OCD ish.
yeah.
If his plan went off a little bit, it rubbed him the wrong way, which made him go on the edge, and you get to see like that terror in his eyes. As for with Jack, it was like he got a plan, but if it goes left, he gonna go right and just completely wing it, and it just
Yeah.
made him more sinister. Like even when he went to Vicky Vale's house and when Bruce was there, and the fact that he's the one who murdered Bruce's parents,
I was
like
about to say that.
everything
Yeah.
about his Joker really just makes it like it makes it so we get a nice juicy steak and you just it's gonna be good. Like it's so much like juice and fat in there. So
It
I
is.
love Heath, but
Yeah.
if I had to choose, I gotta go Jack. I gotta go
So
Jack, bro.
the way I see both Jokers is I see 89's Joker. It was more or less a story of Batman and Joker creating each other. Joker
Mm-hmm.
created Batman, Batman created Joker. So it was just them gonna meet head at the end of the movie, and instead of in Bale's universe him saving Joker because he's not gonna go against his morals, he lets him go because he's avenging his parents' death in that
Mm-hmm.
sense. And I think Keith's Joker is more of a psychological thing of, or a philosophical or psychological thing of, is one bad day gonna make someone turn into the Joker? That
Mm-hmm.
kind of whole thing. It's just getting that Batman to that point of like where he's gonna become just like the
So
Joker, and that's
he's
why
a
he saves him at
mastermind.
the end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I like that a little bit more, but I won't say that Jack is bad. Jack is great. This
Jack
ain't a
is
conversation.
great.
This ain't a conversation of. This is a
Yeah, this
conversation of
ain't
two.
who's good or bad.
This is a
who's great.
conversation of two goats. It's a conversation of
Yeah.
two goats. Okay, two goats at
Yeah.
the what's name. And I was gonna say you already answered my question, but the Riddler you said Jim Carrey over the new one.
No.
What? Oh, okay, all right.
Jim Carrey is more comic book accurate. I will say that.
Okay.
But I did enjoy Matt Reeves' Riddler a lot because he
Okay.
reminded me of the Zodiac Killer mixed with the Riddler. And like what was the other movie I watched? Seven. Like you got like those characteristics, and I just like stuff like that. Those kind of like bad like villains, like a kind of Silence of the Lamb, like weird, awkward villains. But I will say this: Jim Carrey owned it.
Yeah.
And I think what I always hurt him is just the film that it is linked to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Matt Reeves Riddler, but Jim Carrey did a phenomenal job with what he had to work with. He did his job and more.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with my boy Jim on that one. I like I say out of the two, like I don't dislike his performance. It just caught me off guard and surprised me by Matt Reeves. But Jim Carrey, like I said, you said own that character to the point to where like when you think of the Riddler in live action, you think of Jim Carrey before you think of the new one, which is hard for the new guy to. It's hard for the new guy to follow Jim Carrey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like it's hard for any Joker to follow Heath or Jack, you know. And Bale's Two-Face is better. I'm just gonna say that right now. Bale's Two-Face, man, I love Bale's Two-Face just because of the practicality of that. His face just looking all.
It looks so it's so uncanny, especially like when he like drank the
liquor and it just
you see it like
yeah. And like
so
it burned on the way out too, because it's all this stuff out. That's what made it cooler. Bane, I don't know which Bane I like. I don't know which Bane is better. I think comic book accurately, I think the one from which one movie was that in? Was that in
Batman and Robin?
Batman. Okay, so Batman and Robin, Clooney. I think that was more comic book accurate per se, but I think Bale's that was smooth. Like, we got the backbreaking thing in Bale. That's all I gotta say. We got the backbreaking thing,
and that's all I needed was the backbreaking thing.
Like when I saw that, I was like, "Ooh!" As like when I was younger as a kid, I saw that I was like, "Oh man, that's chef's kiss." And then Catwoman, I feel like that's gonna be might not be hard for you to pick a Catwoman.
Yeah, I think Zoe was way better.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Because Anne Hathaway was all right, and what's her name? And what's her name? I don't like her too.
Michelle was a she slayed it, but like you said, that suit is off-putting.
It is.
I guess they tried to make it like a little more comic booky, but it's Tim Burton, so you expect the suit to look like that. Then they said they had to like vacuum seal her in the suit, so I know that was like a pain in the ass for her to wear.
100%.
But I will say this: that scene when she's in I think it's like a mall, a store.
Yeah,
she was in. She had the scene with the whip.
That
actually happened in one take.
Oh, really?
One take.
That's impressive.
They didn't practice it, do a practice run, like a rehearsal shot or nothing. They said action. She did it, cut, and that was it.
Done.
So I just had to share that little nugget.
Put respect on her name, okay? Though she's not my favorite, I do go with your pick of Zoe, because Anne Hathaway, she was okay, but she just it was
that walk. It was that walk.
Yeah,
like whole like she was doing all this weird stuff. I was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and then she didn't really necessarily have the iconic like ears. It was just like her goggles made the ears.
That was so stupid. I'm sorry.
And the romance felt like forced too. The romance felt hella forced in it.
It wasn't a build up to it. At all. I will say this. I'm gonna just go ahead and put this disclaimer out there now. When I was at the time when the Christopher Nolan Batman films came out, it was the best thing for Batman that we had at the time. So I was like super excited, and I had put them like really high up. Over the years, I'm gonna say this, but I want to go back to I want to go talk about Michael Keaton real quick.
Okay.
After revisiting them recently, I will say to me, the third film holds up the best for me.
Really? I'd say the opposite, honestly.
But I'm saying it because of this. In the second film, if we take the Joker out, that film does not hold the same weight as it would. Of course, he's the main villain, but let's just say Two-Face was the villain and not Joker, and the Joker wasn't in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't give that same power that the Joker holds, and I think that's what carries it so much, and that's why people put it up so high because of Heath Ledger's performance. Because I'm gonna say it like this: Christian Bale is Batman. I don't like him as Batman.
I don't know. We're gonna disagree a little bit because I think Christian Bale, we got the best look of an origin story. You know what I mean? We got
yeah, that part.
So that I like that.
No,
I like that part.
When I say that, I don't say it to say that his version of Batman is terrible. I like the way they showed how he became Batman. He went and trained with the League of Shadows. Was it Assassins? Whatever they called them.
I want to say League of Assassins. I think that's what it is.
But I like how they showed that the whole thing with him going through, trying to figure out his identity as far as Batman and Bruce Wayne, his relationship with Alfred. Just the whole thing of him trying to. I do like how they show how the gadgets would work in a real world situation. I enjoyed all that. When I say I didn't like Christian Bale is not my favorite Batman, it's because the voice and I don't know. I just wasn't feeling his Batman. His Batman. When I say his Batman, I'm talking about actual Batman.
The actual the voice. I don't dislike it because of what it led to in Affleck. It led to him doing the voice, so I appreciate it. But I do understand people who don't like it because it's kind of memey. You kind of get a memey kind of thing, I'm Batman kind of thing.
Yeah. That was kind of good, Dimitri.
I've been working secretly Batman over here, but no, I think honestly, I like. I say this. I like his portrayal as Batman just because of just how the cinematography is for the fight scenes, how he was just going off and stuff like that. It was really good. It was a step up from Keaton's choreography, which obviously it's a more modern film. But I do say that I understand when people say, "Oh, it's not the best bat suit because of you can't really tell about the bat symbol on it."
Yeah, I think it was a pretty okay bat suit though.
I like that suit, man. I like it, man. It's probably one of my favorites just because it was different, but also it's clean. It's very clean. It's very practical, very clean, very understandable for what it is, like the Cavalier. And then the gadgets on the arm, the arm thing that came out of his, I forget what they're called, but they're like his little bracelets. And then he had the sonar. The sonar was cool. And then I'll say gadget wise, he's probably the best because of the fact that he had the freaking sonar thing where he had the 30 million thing. No other Batman ever done that. No other Batman ever came close. But I will say Keaton, his bat suit goes high. It's high, but I will say Bale for me is moved up.
And I don't know why people feel some type of way about it because they still gave you a kind of comic book suit with the first movie. Because it had the bat signal on there and everything. So
it was good.
But I do like how they address how he can't turn his head, and that's why we got the second suit. It was if you fighting 10 dudes, you gotta be able to go like this. You can't fight and then do a whole turn. So I thought that suit was pretty nice. And they kept the cowl, you know.
They shortened the ears, which looked nice. The shorter ears work for it.
It was like a breath of fresh air, honestly.
Yeah.
To your point, I do love the story in that, how it completed it. And that's why I said the third one is probably my favorite because we get to see a broken Batman.
Yeah.
Up until that point, we've seen him like lose or get beat, but we never seen him like be completely broken, like mentally and physically. So it was cool to finally see that. And then, like you said, it's just I really don't. I hate that Catwoman was in that film because I think it took away, and Talia, like Talia I thought
Yeah,
was terrible in that
yeah,
film. And
those
the
parts,
only reason
yeah,
why I say I like that one better is because of the tactical thing of Bane, like how he
yeah.
went about his plan. And I like that whole like aspect of it. Like he was really on his shit in that film.
He would listen. Heath was scary, but when I saw Bane and what he was cool about,
Yeah,
like
because he
like go ahead, but like when he does that scene where like the guy with the billionaire gave him money, he was like, and you think that gives you power? And I was like, oh man.
then he
And
had his
yeah,
hand on him. He was like, "You feel that?" I was like, "Oh
that made me go, I was like, man, Bane ain't nothing to mess with, man.
no,
That scene
at all."
alone. But I think what makes me like that trilogy is just a callback, man. In the third movie, they call back to everything from the first movie when he was like, I want to know your name. And he was like, you put a coat on my shoulder, put a coat on the little boy's shoulders, let him know the world's okay. And that was his
Yeah,
way
I
of
like
letting him
that.
that he
That
was
was me.
Batman.
That was me. You,
So many
he's
good
basically
callbacks.
telling him, "You helped me get through one of the worst and most traumatic moments in my life, and now I'm helping you all to live to see another day." And also, too, just like going back to Bane, he physically and mentally matched Batman. Like the Joker,
Yeah.
all it could be like up here, and he
Mm-hmm.
really couldn't do nothing. But Bane was like, "Oh, I could get you here, and I could give you these hands." You know,
Yep.
and I think that's what made it so good for me. But just like you said, the callbacks. I like how Christopher Nolan is very clever with the way he
Mm-hmm.
does things because you could tell he's a fan of the character,
Yeah.
but he didn't want to make a comic book movie. Like he made
No.
a comic book movie, but he didn't because even the fact where he took Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character and it was
Mm-hmm.
like Blake, but his name was
Yeah.
Robin. And
Mm-hmm.
he played that at the end. Hey, this is the Robin of this universe. And I think it was cool that he left certain things out, like not having Harley Quinn or not having an actual Robin. Like
Mm-hmm.
those kind of things were cool. So it was nice to see a Batman that felt like he could live in our world. And I think that was his
Yeah.
whole point. Like he was trying to make it feel like, hey, this Batman could be any of us if we got a few couple billion hanging around, laying around.
Feel a couple billion just in the bank hanging out right back there.
Yeah.
Let's get to Batfleck. How you feeling about Batfleck? Like, how's he ranking for you? Is he you like his portrayal? You don't like it?
I like Batfleck.
Okay.
A lot of people give Bat a bad rep that he shouldn't get because for
Mm-hmm.
one, let's just get this out of the way. For one, he didn't get his own movie. He had to
That's
share
what
a movie.
hurts him. That's what hurts
So
his thing.
and then it hurt both characters because Superman was supposed to get a second movie and he was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to get a solo movie. But because who was running DC at the time wanted to just do this and hurry up and get the Justice League out there, we didn't. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that because I think Ben Affleck was a great Batman.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I'm
In the
not
scenes
saying
we
this.
got.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this to say like he's top five or something, not top five, but like he's the top three or something like that. Because it was some things that just didn't work. But of course, that was like studio.
Yeah,
If it was left up to Ben Affleck, we probably would have got like a really good Batman,
I think
version of
so.
Batman for him. Because for one, comic book wise, he looked just like Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, like
He
big bulky.
does. Big bulky guy.
Um,
And
so
also that scene of the when the cop comes in, he's on the corner of the roof and he
oh,
just crawls
and he
out.
looked like a bat. I was like,
Yeah, and he just
oh.
crawls out. That
And then
scene
how
is probably the
he's like
scene.
he's branding the villains.
Yeah,
And then,
that's some
no,
dark
you
night.
know what my
Yeah.
scene is though. That
Mm-hmm.
warehouse when he goes save Martha.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Out of all the fights, yo, I don't care. It ain't got nothing to do about the cinematography and what's the best film. When it just come down to straight up hands and fighting, that's the best scene hands down. Best
Yeah,
fights.
I will agree because and I think his punches just feel like he's just like
They
feel like
sound like they hurt.
they sound like Arkham
Yep.
games. Those little those things. They sound like he's hitting like Superman. You know what I mean? Like he's breaking stuff. The only thing
Dude.
the only thing I didn't really like it's just we didn't need him to shoot a gun. He didn't need all that.
Yeah. I didn't.
Other than that, I'm cool. Other than that, he's cool.
In a nightmare sequence.
Yeah, I guess that's a nightmare sequence, but
Still,
like,
I wasn't feeling that. Like I'm okay with the going over that line of his no kill like rule.
yeah.
Like I'm cool with that. But him shooting the gun, I was like,
him out here getting a 20 kill streak on some soldiers or whatever. Like, no.
Yeah. I would have been okay with it if he had some kind of like sword or some kind of weapon he forged or something, like to do that.
Talking about like the absolute Batman with the hammer.
Yeah, or like he had a sword made out of kryptonite or something, like that would have been cool. But I won't speak on the director's name, but kind of Batman. But another thing I liked about Batlick was Alfred.
Yeah.
This was probably the first Alfred that we actually seen that was like really hands on as far as building the tech. Like it always been hints of it, but we actually got to see him like, implement the voice changer, test it out. He was the guy in the chair, like, checking everything out, getting the suits, the file, like everything. You can see how involved he was, probably more involved. Another thing is we got a Robin, but this Robin was killed by the Joker, which is unfortunate because that Joker was trash. In that,
dang, I forgot there was a Joker because when I asked best Joker,
he's very forgetful because he's very forgetful. We got that. Then that whole that's that scene where he's like getting in shape to fight. Other than that, I will say this. I think, and a lot of people disagree with me when I say this. I think if they did a Batman Beyond film, they should choose Ben to be older Bruce, because he would be great at being a grumpy Bruce Wayne, because he's grumpy in real life. So I'm just putting that out there. If you hear me, James, just think about
put it out there in the universe. So we're going to the final Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman, or
Pattinson.
Pattinson. There you go. Thank you for coming up with that. I was trying to coin a term, Pattinson.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about Pattinson?
All right, we're gonna get this out the way first. His Bruce Wayne is not the most favorable out of all the Bruces.
Yeah.
But the way they explain the film, you get why he's like that. So it's not like he's just that for no reason. He's like really into the whole Batman thing. So he hasn't got to that point where he separated Bruce and Batman. Like he's just Batman.
That's who he is.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get that out the way about him being Bruce Wayne. But when it comes to Batman, I think as far as detective gadgets, I really like this Batman because he's more of a detective. Like we get more of the stuff from like the Arkham games, comics, novels, to even the point where we see his flaws. How, because this is an early Batman, like he's in the beginning of his career,
year one.
Like we still see him like he's making mistakes. Because he made a big mistake, it cost like the city to be flooded. But at the same time, we got to see him learn, because we never really get to see Batman learn that he needs the people of Gotham and the people of Gotham needs him, and that's how the relationship works. And to actually see that moment happen, but what he goes through in between that, and even like with his relationship with Alpha, it was terrible. But the thing I like about Matt Reeves is he gave us an understanding of why things were the way they were. He gave us an understanding why Selina was how she was, why Bruce the way he was, the crime in Gotham, what that was about. And even with the show, with the Penguin show, he fleshed out the Penguin. We learned why the Penguin is the way he is. Like he's setting these little nuggets to help us out and guide us to why these characters are like that. Because we see why Alfred and Bruce's relationship is rocky. He feels he was trying to be his father. He didn't need him. and it was because he finds out his father was this and that. So there's a whole lot of things factoring into it. But
Yeah.
I'm getting off subject. So back to what you asked me, as far as like him, I would say he is definitely in my top 3.
Okay. I can agree with that. I can agree with
And
that.
I was completely shocked that he did so well because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, I knew he was gonna be good. No, I
No.
was like, are we getting Edward from Twilight to play Batman? I was like, When I seen him in the suit, heard him, saw the fights, the
Yeah.
detective modes, I even like his as far as gadgets. He was rough on the gadgets. Like you
He
could tell he was
was.
really trying to get stuff together. Like when the first time he jumped off, I do like how the first time he jumped off that building, he was scared as
Yeah.
shit. You can
Right?
see the fear in his face, but that's what I like because it's like we never get to see Batman go through that where he's trying things for the first time. Like any normal human would be like, "Oh shit, I didn't think this through, but I got to do it because if I don't, they're gonna take me and then try to arrest me." So I think Matt Reeves displayed a Batman that was grounded, but he left room for it to still be like comic booky, where
Yeah.
you could have those characters like a Clayface, Mad Hatter. Like he didn't close it too much and put it in a box where it was like, no, we can only have real world characters that feel living. Because the fact he had the Joker in there, he had the Riddler, the Penguin.
Yeah.
So you already know like it's gonna be other characters in that realm. It's not just gonna be
Man.
the typical serious grounded world.
I definitely want to see Mr. Freeze would be dope in that universe. And also the
Yes.
Court of Owls would I'll
Oh, the
talk to the
Court of Owls is
Court of Owls.
perfect
It's
for that
perfect. It's
universe
like we've been talking about that for years and we
for
about to get that.
years.
But Mr. Freeze, just a modernized Mr. Freeze in that universe would go off.
Mhm,
Plus, it's gonna
mhm.
be in wintertime, so it's perfect. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
I think we might get a hint of that too, like in the next one.
Yeah, I
I
hope
feel like
so.
it because I don't think Matt Reeves would put it in the wintertime and not have some kind of like Mr. Freeze Easter egg
Related
or something.
something. Yeah,
And
man.
that means that's gonna be the second Batman film that takes place during Christmas time. Know
Hey,
that?
yeah, technically. Wait, does the because I'm thinking the Bell one takes place during one of them does take place during Christmas, doesn't it? Because they're having some kind of
Oh,
party or yeah, aren't they? Isn't it Christmas? Is
I
it
think
Christmas?
it's New Year's.
It might be new. Okay, we're off a
Yeah,
little bit. Just a little
I think it
bit.
was New Year's because it was like wintertime.
Yeah, I remember it being wintertime,
Yeah,
so I was like, maybe we got another contender for the Christmas movie category. But no, if it does, that's a Christmas movie. That's the rules. I
yeah.
don't make them. But I'm gonna ask you a follow up question before we get to the last little moment of it, and then I have a question after that. But what do you think is the best Batmobile? Yeah, that's a hard one because there's a lot of good ones though. Like we've had some great ones. Like
Because that Adam West one is great.
yeah,
That's up there. That's up there. I'll say this for me, it's in between. It's between Keaton and Robert Pattinson's Batmobile.
okay, I like that. I don't know. It's a
I
three way.
like the Tumbler because
Yeah,
it's like a big tank,
yeah.
but it doesn't scream Batmobile.
It doesn't
You know
scream
what I'm saying?
Batmobile. Yeah, exactly. I like the Tumbler too, but it's a three way between Keaton, Patterson, and Affleck. It's something about the Affleck
Yeah,
Batmobile. That thing
it
is
reminds you of
clean.
the Arc of Knight
Yeah,
Mobile a little bit. Yeah, that thing was clean, and the
it
fact
was
that it was like
clean.
so freaking huge, man. Yeah, I'll say this: those are the top 3 for me,
Yeah,
definitely.
top
With an
three.
honorable mention being the Adam West Batmobile.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Even the Bat plane, I think I liked. I think I want to go with Keaton and also Bale with the bat plane related thing.
Yeah, cause
And then
Affleck
yeah,
had one, but it looked like it almost looked too much like a spaceship.
yeah, it looked like
Yeah,
exactly. It looked like a carrier plane. Like
yeah.
it had that like big hatch in the back, and I was like,
I wonder, bro. I wonder how Matt Reeves would make a bat plane like the
I
Batman.
wondered too. I hope we get to see it in the next one. I'm hoping they drop that. Just here you go.
That would be nice.
It would be cool.
That Batmobile was freaking awesome.
It was cool. I was surprised by it. It was so cool. And then I will say this: he has the best Batmobile scene of all of them. That reverse flip, that reverse camera flip that he did when he got man.
When we first hear it, like you hear it sounds like a monster truck.
It does.
That thing was smooth and sleek. Then it had the little bat ears on the back.
Yeah.
But I liked it because it's a muscle car, and I'm a sucker for muscle cars.
It was just really a surprise because it's just so different from what we're used to. Like we're not used to getting something like just a straight out muscle car with a little modifications on it. We're used to seeing something that just looks like a Batmobile.
It looks like a Batmobile.
Yeah. And I'll ask you this. I'll ask you. Let me see. Yeah, I'll ask you this question. Do you want to see a multiverse for the DC? Old Batman's coming back, Spider-Man No Way Home. Will you want to see people just pick up the cow, Keaton kind of come back, and then Bale come back in some kind of collab thing or something like that? Or you just don't want to touch multiverse at all, like with Batman films? Because we have the opportunity.
I am tired of the multiverse.
I thought you were going to say that. I wanted to ask though.
I am tired of the multiverse because we already got Keaton back, and that film was terrible. The film was terrible. He did good.
Oh, he did great. Yeah.
So we already got that. Like I said, all I want is Ben Affleck and Batman Beyond. Whether it's live action, animated, I don't care. I just want y'all to do that. We got to see Clooney and Keaton come back, which is crazy that they chose Clooney. Bale, I don't think Christian Bale will ever play Batman again. I think he's done.
Think he's done with it?
Yeah. And I don't think he's saying he's done, but I think like that whole thing is done. I don't think they would get him to come back because I just don't see where he would fit, even in a multiverse thing. Because if you stand him next to all the other Batman, he gonna look like a little kid. Just because of the suit by itself, it's gonna make him look like.
What if they modernized it? What if they made alterations to kind of make it like beyond par? Like maybe some years that went by or something like that, and he came back. If they tweaked it a bit,
a mixture of the first suit and the second suit. Yeah, he put on a little muscle. Yeah.
Right. Like I say, he's dead, so he's out there eating good.
Or bring Blake back and let him be
man.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's a missed opportunity, but they could also do that because multiverse and stuff like that. I honestly could go either way. If it's good, fine, but if it's bad, leave it alone.
Don't do it just to make money.
Don't do it. If you're gonna, at the very least, if you're gonna do it, at least on the terms of No Way Home, where they brought him back and it wasn't horrible. You know what I mean? Because they brought back Toby, they brought back Andrew, and they both came back, and their stuff was great. It felt like no time had passed. Do that. Don't just bring them back. Oh, okay.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You missed this question.
All right.
Who is the better Penguin?
Ooh. I mean, if we're going based on I want to give it to Patterson, is his version, just because it feels more of a big mob crime boss. But I do say Danny DeVito does more of a comic book accurate version from what we know from that time period. But he wasn't really running stuff in that movie. You know what I mean? Like he was like more or less like a henchman.
Yeah.
And I feel like
fit in.
Exactly. And I feel like the Penguin he runs stuff. He's like trying to always get above something. He's not trying to be a henchman.
I'll tell you this. After you watch the Penguin, you definitely will be complete. Like you sold now, but you'll be 100% sold on Colin Farrell's version. Dan DeVito is the GOAT. Don't get me wrong.
Of course, yeah. No mistake, nothing.
Colin got the chance that Danny didn't get. He got a show, and that show made it even better because he was good in the movie. So
he was great in the movie. Yeah, I was surprised. So yeah. So let's get down to business. They say, who is your best Batman, live action Batman, like definitively right here, right now for the Square Round Table viewers?
Who's my best Batman? Is it my best or my favorite?
I think they don't really say. They're the same. I think who best embodies the character for you? Batman. I would say just Batman because we're doing Batman. Bruce Wayne, that could be a whole nother conversation. But with Batman himself, like who is the best Batman or embodies it for you the best?
Now I know I got the shirt on,
Mm-hmm.
but
yeah,
he only got one film.
Okay.
So I can't let that one film like hold him up with the heavy hitters. So I will have to say, and it's just I'm biased. I'm biased, bro.
I knew you were
I'm
gonna
sorry,
say it. I knew this.
but Keaton is always gonna be my favorite for now.
Okay.
Until we see what this second Matt Reeves Batman film is, it's definitely Keaton, man. Because it's just I think what Michael Keaton brought to the table is he established what Bruce Wayne could be. Like what a Bruce Wayne character could look like.
Yeah.
He set that duality of Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman is the persona. Because even to when they had the party, which was so clever by Tim Burton, they had the masquerade in Batman Returns, and everybody had on masks except for Selena and Bruce because they were wearing their masks. The people that,
The
not
people,
having their costume on, that was their mask.
That was their mask.
So the fact that he brought like that idea and that concept of it could help mold what could be in future films, but Michael just did it so good, and he had this cold seriousness to him where he didn't let people in, and it just it he played what a person who's seen their parents get murdered in front of them would be like as an adult. Like he was awkward with people. He didn't have good conversations. He just did crazy shit. Like when they having a shootout at the steps in the first film, and he's literally walking, and the bullet just grazes him, and then he's going like really brought that kind of, hey, should this dude really be out here being Batman? Is he okay?
Is he okay? Is he well?
And the fact that we got to see him come back as an older version of Bruce and see like how more mild mannered he is now and him accepting like his fate and stuff. So it's gonna be Keaton. It's always gonna be Keaton for me. But right now.
Hey, that is a good choice. Like I said, that is a very great. Like it's expected. I expected. I came into this podcast knowing what you were. I knew you were going to choose Keaton. I knew you well too way too.
I wore this shirt because I wanted to throw y'all off.
You didn't throw me off. I thought I got surprised, but I was like, I don't know. But I like Keaton. He's the GOAT. But I hate to be this guy because I'm gonna shake it up a little bit differently but that first Bale's whole origin story and seeing all that work and getting a chance to really experience Thomas Wayne before he died, it helped him out and stuff like, and seeing all the behind the scenes of what he did to get to be Batman, it made me appreciate those films a lot more than I already did. And I think when it comes to Batman for me and all that stuff, he edges out a little bit more for me. Not saying Keaton is way down here. He's there right here. It could go either way depending on how the day is. But right now, after my rewatch, I was messing with the Bale film a little bit more. So I'm gonna go Bale, but Keaton is the GOAT. Pay respect to the GOAT. Not gonna slide him. He's not the two that don't be mentioned. He's very close.
Yeah.
So I
can agree with that. I definitely can agree with that.
I don't think I surprised you though. I feel like I didn't surprise you.
I knew he was gonna say Bale.
I already know. I can't hide it. I can't, man.
Since I've known Demetrius and we talk about Batman movies, he's always had Bale like the Bale films up here. So I knew he was gonna choose Bale, but it's not like a bad choice. It's not like it's a great choice. And I will say this: I think this could go for the both of us. Is Pattinson has a very bright future.
Agreed.
With his Batman franchise.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to help him is that James Gunn and Matt Reeves have figured out how to really give these characters stories and flesh them out, with having the shows and the films like intertwined with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's really gonna help build that universe, and then it's gonna give it a great send off. So I think by the end of his franchise, he will definitely be in the conversation.
Oh,
With like
100%. I
Bell,
think
with Bell and
Keaton. I think the second film will be the deciding factor. It will be one of the deciding factors. Like that second film will decide it. Because you could bounce back from like a bad second film, but it's definitely gonna put a spot on your record. So this second film got a lot of weight behind it.
It does. It does. And it's only because the first one set such a it set
the
such a
bar.
big, it set a very high bar. It was very successful. So I'll say that. I just wanted to put that out there that Pattinson is like he's on their heels, their coattails. But Batfleck, he just had the unfortunate fate of bad studio decisions, behind the scenes stuff, making this film version and this version. So yeah, he just got the bad end of the stick, honestly, because
He
I think
really did.
it was a lot of potential there for that Batman. So
I agree.
unfortunately, Ben, we can't put you up there, buddy.
We can't respect for your contribution.
But I will say this: if I'm going in order from best, not even the worst, but like from out of what we talked about,
Yeah,
I would go Keaton,
mm-hmm.
Bell, Patterson, Ben Affleck, and then Adam West.
I agree, 100%. Same. I'd go exactly the same. Because, like I say, like you said, Keaton just set the bar so extremely high. He put it way up here to where the second one, the two, like I said earlier, the two that came after him just couldn't. They couldn't hold a candle.
They couldn't, and it sucks. It sucks, but hey,
that's just how it works, man.
You know, it's the same with Brandon Routh coming after Christopher Reeves.
Yeah,
Superman. He wasn't a bad Superman, but he had to come after like one of the goats. And
exactly.
That was another situation with studios. Like it happened with both of these actors, like all three of them. The decision the studios made caused them to have a stamp on their career about being a superhero. But that's just how it is. So
that's how it works.
Unfortunately, those guys don't get to be in the conversation.
Yeah, that's how it works. And they're on the bench. Like maybe down. Oh, okay, I can't say maybe down there. It's too late for them. It's over.
So I gotta say this now.
Okay.
Because what you said, it's 11 films. So out of 11 films, what's your top 5?
Top 5. All right, we got Keaton. Both Keatons, honestly.
So you're gonna put both. So that's
I'll 2 slots right away. 2 slots. I'm dangerous. Okay, I'm being dangerous.
I like when you get dangerous because I already know you could just fill them other 3 up with Christian Bale.
Yeah, I can't put Reeves up there until he get another one on his belt. Then we can have a conversation. So yeah, I was dangerous with this too, but I can't choose between the two Keatons. Yeah, they both good. They solid.
Both good. So I would say that both Keatons.
Okay, I already know you're gonna mix it up a little bit.
Dark Knight.
Okay. Ooh, Dark Knight. Yeah. What you were saying earlier about the Dark Knight, you put him there over Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight still top
okay.
5.
I'm just saying.
I like Rises. That's my personal preference. I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot now. I'm not gonna say that's not one of the greatest films ever. You know, they ain't finna come after me. Dark Knight Rises, and I'm sorry, but the Batman is in my top 5.
Okay, all right. You dangerous.
It used to be Begins, but after I saw the Batman, I was like, I'm sorry, Christian. That's a great origin film.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I was like, old Patty, he moved up in that top 5 for me, brothers.
Yeah, the thing. That second movie hits. It's fire. I would say some Freeze related pun, but I have none right now.
If it's cold.
Hey, okay. If it's cold, yeah, if it's cold, You could be in the conversation. You could beat one of the
top 5 gonna be a lot harder.
It will be. I might listen. I'll be sitting there, man. Which one am I moving out?
It's the fact that you played no games. You said I'm taking all 5 of my slots and I'm picking the trilogy and the 2 sequels in the first and sequel. I ain't playing
no games.
You know how they do those things on Instagram where you give you $15 to build like a superhero team or basketball. You automatically go for the 10 and 5.
Just take care of it. I play no games.
Knock it out. Get the toothpaste.
Oh man, I'd be horrible at those games where it's like you can't pick the order where you put the things. You got to just put them in. You got to put them in the top 5. They can't pick the order. I'd be horrible at those. I already have him up here.
They'll be like, all right, let's see what you get first. It'll be like Christian Bale Batman, number 1. Then right after that, it'll be Michael Keaton.
I'm like, of course, that's how it works. That's how my luck be.
Oh man, that is hilarious. I really think that's all I had.
That's all I got. Man, I'm like I said, we did a deep dive. We've given all of the Batman information that I think we collectively have. Yeah, I think there's no stone left unturned. But you know what time it is, right? It's the shameless promotional. Hey, let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right. If you like this podcast and you like all the content we have on here, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell on the bottom right hand side of the video to get notified of future videos. Hit another comment. Let us know your favorite Batman film, favorite suit, favorite Batmobile, which portrayals of the villains we've seen you like the best. What's your top 5 films? Our top 5 films are great, but hey, yours could be different. Did you agree with both of our selections of the best live action Batman? Did you disagree? Let us know in the comments down below. But also keep it very civil, man. This might be Gotham City down there, but we all Batman, all right? Keep it very civil, all right? Exactly. Keep it civil. Follow us on our Instagrams, our Twitters. Not saying X, we don't say X around here. And Discord, man. If you want to give us suggestions of videos or you just want to talk to us, we're down there. We're there. Follow us on fandomland.com, Square Roundtable Podcast at fandomland.com. Rap Nerd Tuesday and Thursday. Shout out to Rap Nerd. And I think I'm good. We good. We good out here. And with that being said, I'm your host, Dimitri.
And I'm your host, Marcus. And always remember, I am the night. I am vengeance. Demetrius, who are we?
I am Batman.
Peace.
Peace. Doses.